I think even him and Andy Ruiz would be a good fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'd watch that, yeah.
He's 36 on his British passport. I'm not sure what the Zimbabwe passport saying.
Yeah. I don't know.
But him and Andy Ruiz.
I'd like to see that fight, yeah.
Get bodied, man. Hello guys and welcome to the Purist Podcast. I'm here with Dujon.
Hi guys, I'm Jordan Dujon, foreigner professional boxer.
He's filling in for Mike today. Make sure you abuse Mike on social media for not coming today. But yeah, let's get straight into the podcast. All right, gonna start off the big knockout of the weekend. Gervonta Tank Davis knocks out Leo Santa Cruz in round 6. How did you see that fight?
It was a great fight. I mean, I think I give Santa Cruz, I think it was 3 rounds. 3 rounds total.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Gervonta Davis is a different animal, man. And he was looking for that uppercut the whole night.
Literally.
Body shots and then coming straight up the top.
And that's one of my favourite things about Tank. They asked him after the fight, so like you threw like 100 left uppercuts throughout the whole fight. Was that something you worked with in camp? He was like, nah, I just got in there. We don't really look for things. Like if I see it, I'm going to take advantage of it, innit? And I think outside the ring, Tank, he's not the sharpest tool in the box, innit? But inside the ring, it's like most fighters who are smart in the ring are smart outside the ring, innit? Yeah. I don't think it's like that. I think once he gets in, he's a fighter, innit?
Of course.
So he knows how to adapt, how to adjust. And he saw the uppercut was there. And he was mixing those left hands to the body. They were
beautiful.
Dangerous,
sucking the life out
exactly. And that left hand to the body, you throw it, it's like the uppercut comes from low, innit? So it looks like a left hand and you bring it straight back up. You just throw someone off so much, innit? It's simple, it's subtle, but it works so well, innit?
I think we saw a lot of different skills from Tank Davis. Even he started coming forward, then he backed off, boxing on the back foot. And then come round 6, he was just, we're stepping the gas now. Walked him down. Was prepared to take shots. And even if you look just before the knockout, he was actually in an orthodox stance before he threw it. And he just perfectly timed. Whipped the uppercut in. The
main thing for me was, it's like, I'm not saying I fight like him, but in terms of styles, like I like to wait. Yeah. I like to counter and just like pick shots. Yeah. So when you have a guy who, even if you're better than him, he comes and he throws 100 punches. If I'm there, I'm shelling up, I'm moving off. Like you can outwork me and outpoint me. And he's the same where if you outwork him, sometimes you can outpoint him. And Leo's doing that for certain parts in the fight. He'll throw a 10-punch combo. Yeah. Most of them will miss, but of course the fans, the judges are seeing that and they like it, innit? So it's for Tank to go against a style that's probably the worst possible style for him and still win rounds, still look good, relaxed. He, like you said, on the back foot sometimes, on the front foot. I thought the start of round 6, he literally came, I call it Joe Gallagher style, innit? Hands up, tuck up, just show up, and just walk forward, just press, man, innit?
But you know what it is? I don't think he respected Santa Cruz's power. Because obviously, for him to just, like, round 6, he said, all right, cool, now I'm going to get you out there now. He had enough. He said, I don't get paid for overtime. I'm going to step in and just take you out. But obviously, from his sparring, I mean, you see a couple of his sparring videos going around viral. He's the same. When he decides to say, you know what, now I'm going to take you out, there's not much you can really do against him. But yeah. Yeah,
he's literally sticking it on big 140 pounders. Yeah. And they're thinking, to be fair, on that video, you know, when he was sticking it on, man, after that round, I think he had 2 more left and he just got out of the ring and said, I'm out. Like, he had no more left in the tank. Because he was fat then, innit? So
yeah. I think it was a Rashak or
Red Catch.
Red Catch, yeah. But yeah, a Tank punch is well above his weight. Well above his weight, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, going to the fight, it's like, for a smaller man moving up, you need the speed advantage. In terms of combinations, we saw Leo Santa Cruz had the advantage. But in terms of one punch, it's where like Tank will slip a punch. And as soon as he slips it, you know that counter's landing first. Because that one punch speed, Tank had more speed and he had the power. So every time Leo felt it, so I remember the first round, I think the first left hand Tank landed, I saw Leo smile on it. I know what smile. That's my kind of smile, innit? He knew. He's like, fuck, that hurt. But I like it, innit? It's like one of them ones, innit? Proper fighter, innit? But he knew I can't take too many more.
I think with Tank Davis, I think his combinations, when he decides to let his hands go, I think he's much faster than Santa Cruz. It's just, he's punching with intention every single time. So he ain't trying to waste no energy throwing a combo just for the sake of throwing it. He's looking, he's constantly watching, his eyes are constantly on his opponent. And then he's just picking wherever the gap is. So wherever you're throwing at him, he's looking for that gap just to punish it.
Yeah, and clearly he saw something of that left uppercut, innit? And he knew, I throw a lot of these and you catch one, it's going to be over.
If you look at a lot of his fights, he's that left uppercut, that's his one of his preferred punches, as well as his Grizel punch. he's took a lot of guys out with that uppercut.
And it's mad, especially Southpaw Orthodox. That's the furthest punch from your opponent.
Yeah.
So to be able to land it consistently,
definitely,
it speaks a lot, innit?
Perfectly timing, and I mean not off of the Santa Cruz fight, but previous ones. What you will see is he dips low, and then it will just explode up. But the Santa Cruz one was just perfectly timed. Wait for the right hand come, slipped it, bam, finished him.
I remember his last fight against Gamboa. He drops Gamboa and Gamboa tears his Achilles. And then for the rest of the fight, people see Tank struggle. Yeah. And I kept telling people, if you're a counter puncher and you're fighting someone who's there to survive, it's not gonna look good, innit?
Yeah.
Santa Cruz trying to throw 100 punches at a counter puncher. What happens is you get knocked out.
Yeah.
Because Santa Cruz is a lot better than Gamboa, but you get knocked out. When he's fighting people who come to fight and are throwing lots of punches, there'll be trouble. That's why I kept telling people, Tank versus Loma. I'd probably pick Loma as the smartest thing to do, innit? But if they're in that fight and you think Loma's is going to pick this brother apart easily, it's just not going to happen.
Nah. I'll tell you what. I mean, off the back of Loma, Loma Lopez. For me, I mean, obviously we got the excuse after that his shoulder was injured.
We don't talk about that here.
Yeah, we're not big excuses. We don't big excuses. Yeah, we're not going to bring excuses. You took the fight. At the end of the day, Lopez was a better man on the night. But for me, what that showed from round one. The second Lopez stuck it on him, I think Loma was cautious of the power. And I think with Davis, you have to be cautious of that power because he's got that one punch equalizer. So, I mean, for me, that fight has completely changed my perception before because I said off of the back of the Gamboa Davis fight that I don't like how little Tank fight throws per round. So I said against Loma, I think Loma was just going to outpoint him. Don't think he'll knock him out. But that was my reasoning for why I thought Loma would win. But just off the back of the last two performances for both people, I've completely changed my mind. I think Tank's he's the biggest star in boxing for me.
And it's a good comparison because it's like Leo Santa Cruz, they don't fight like Loma, but they have the high output. They're trying to move their feet. Lopez, he has a low output, but he's explosive and he's quick with it as well. Because with Loma, because he's like the smaller guy, he needs his speed to really play an advantage in the fight. And he doesn't have that against Lopez. He ain't got that against Tank. It's going to be like I was always telling my brothers, like, Loma can tap, boom, whatever. But you tap, and he slips and he hits you and he hits you hard. What are you going to do next, innit? Yeah. And that's the question mark for me with Loma against Tank. I just don't see.
And also with Loma's obviously used to having that southpaw slick style against his orthodox fighters. But obviously against Davis,
it's not going to work
taken out because they're both southpaw.
And even against Liam Walsh, where Walsh was a southpaw as well, and you could just see like that left hand from Tank, because you're both southpaw, it's a lot closer. So he's got he's even more margin for error, so he can just throw it from anywhere. Yeah, and it's probably going to land as well. So yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Tank beats him. He beats him.
Yeah, no, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he beats him.
I think so. For me, I don't care to see Tank v Loma. I really don't care. I mean, for me, it's Davis v Lopez. That's a war, and that's why I think that will be Davis' showcase fight, because for me, the Santa Cruz fight, it was good, but Tank had a lot left in the tank. He didn't have to get to that second, third gear. He didn't need to get brought into a fight. But I think the Lopez fight, they're both hungry young lions, both undefeated, both world champions. I think that is going to be an all-out war. And I think you'll see the best of both. Who comes out on top? I'm probably favouring Davis.
I haven't seen enough of Lopez to really make up my mind, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Of course, Loma, like we said, he's a smaller guy, innit? So once you've got them advantages over him, it becomes a bit easier. I want to see him fight someone else, and then I'll probably make my mind up after.
Fair enough.
But even Sen at 130, if that fight don't happen, there's Oscar Valdez, there's Jamal Herring, even Shakur Stevenson's going to be fighting for a belt soon.
Yeah?
Yeah. So personally, I think any of those guys at 130, Tank knocks them all out.
Yeah. I mean, Shakur Stevenson, I don't want to see him in that fight.
Too small, too young. Basically.
Yeah, he's too young. Yeah, he's got a long career ahead of him. He doesn't need to rush into them super fights. Yeah, I think what's Devin Haney campaign at 135?
135.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good fight. Tank v Devin Haney. But again, I can't see that happening in the near time. Just through like the Mayweather connection. I think they'll clear out the rest of the division first, and then that would be the last fight that will be made.
Well, that's the saddest thing about talking about these fights, and they're never gonna happen. Innit?
Yeah.
They're never gonna happen. Okay, let's move on to the matchroom card. Alexander Usyk, 12-round unanimous points decision over Derek Chisora. I'm gonna just say it, 117, 112, just wrong.
Wrong. I agree.
I gave Chisora 5 rounds.
I gave him 4 rounds.
I thought 6 rounds a draw. I wouldn't have been shocked.
Really?
100%.
Oh. Nah. To me, that would have been a bad decision.
In terms of ring generalship, and he was controlling what was happening. It was always Usyk. But I'm telling you, there were certain rounds where Chisora went southpaw and landed more jabs than Usyk.
I agree.
You can't discount them kind of things.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's like, cool, he's controlling where's the fight's happening, but he's not controlling what is actually happening in the fight.
Of course. Okay, so how I saw the fight, I mean, the first 2 rounds I give to Chisora clearly. Then I think I give him maybe the 5th. I think
there was one of the later rounds where
one of the later rounds. But for me, I think after the first 2 rounds, after Chisora stuck it on him, Usyk, he didn't have no answer because he thought, oh crap, this guy's bigger than me.
You see the weight made a big difference.
The weight was a big difference. But once Chisora started to gas a little bit, Usyk was just moving around, popping and moving. Chisora was landing the bigger shots, but they was landing on the glove. And I think you can't discredit the amount of jabs, clean jabs and right hands that Usyk was landing with. So for me, like, although Chisora was dominating the ring, if you're not landing and you're out punching the guy, Usyk's getting the rounds all day.
I hear what you're saying, but that's one thing about boxing. Because if you just say 36 minutes, forget the rounds, you won the fight, Usyk clearly, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is fought round by round, isn't it?
Yeah.
You talk about just round by round. There were certain rounds where Usyk just didn't throw that much.
Didn't throw
that much.
It was pacing himself. And to be honest with you, I think everyone talks about how much of the greatest boxer, one of the greatest boxers of our generation, and how smart Usyk is. If you looked at it, Usyk, he capitalized on Chisora getting tired. Yeah. He knew that all I have to do, this guy is too big, the lactic acid is going to kick in, and then all I have to do is just keep outpointing you. But then the one thing that shocked me is that coming towards the later rounds now, Usyk was clearly winning, but he started to back Chisora up and started to force the pace. And to be honest with you, to me, I thought he was looking to close the show the way it was going, especially when Chisora started to be on the, against the ropes and stuff. I mean, I think one of the rounds, I don't know if it was round 7 or 8, I think he hurt Chisora.
Under round 7, under round 8.
Yeah. I think he might have been due to fatigue, but I think the bell come at the right opportunity for Chisora to get himself back together. But I think going forward for Usyk, it's very interesting because he can campaign at heavyweight. I think mainly because of the fitness levels of heavyweight boxing. But I think when you come against the big guys like Fury, Joshua, I think I can't see him doing it. Fury, he's going to hold the pace for 12 rounds. He's going to outbox him. He's not going to, I mean...
He's not going to get on the inside.
He's a switch hitter. I can't see him doing it against Fury. And then again, with AJ, I think AJ bullies him on the inside. Because AJ is going to let his hands go a lot more than Chisora. And he's got a better shot than Chisora. So again, they're all interesting fights. And you know what? It's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. But for me, yesterday showed that he's too small for the bigger guys in the division. But he can wear them down through the amount of like his foot movement and the pressure.
For me, the biggest side of things is what you said. Chisora, he didn't try to pace himself. He didn't even think of 12 rounds. He just thought, I'm going to go in there. He's a small guy. I'm going to rough him up, take it to the body. I'm taking him out or he's taking me out. End of round 7, Chisora looked out of it. I remember talking to my family. They're like, he's getting stopped the next round. I was like, if Chisora comes out how he's been fighting, he gets stopped instantly. He's going to throw looping right hands and get stopped. If he comes out calm and tries to box, Usyk can't take him out because he just doesn't have the power. He literally just does not have the power. For a guy to be completely gassed out, how Chisora was in round 7 and 8, and you don't take him out. To me, that was the biggest flaw I saw in Usyk. It's like, if you can't take out a man who's on his last legs, it's not looking good for you at all.
But I think Usyk's never been known to be a puncher like that with that one punch KO.
But if you're tired, if someone's tired, they're tired.
Of course. But you know what? I think you got to give credit to Derek Chisora because that man, he can eat shots. Like
he's got a chin, innit?
Yeah, he's got a chin. And I think, his previous knockouts, against like Dylan White and stuff, they're big hitters, and they're probably one of the biggest in the division to be knocking guys out. So I think Usyk, although he doesn't have the punch power, again, it's the work rate.
Another thing is Usyk, he didn't really want to take too many risks.
No, not at all.
There were so many times during the fight, I was pointing out to my family, it's like, Chisora does that looping right, and then he steps forward with his right and goes into southpaw, yeah? And his head is over his front leg. Even if you touch him, just a little touch, he's going to go down. Whether it's a flash knockdown, he's hurt, he's on the way down. He done it like twice in the last 2 rounds. Yeah. And both times it hurt Chisora, innit? But I was thinking, you have to risk it and take that chance.
You know what? I think, for me, it was just a case of just securing the win. I think for him, I think he just thought, you know what? Because he come out, he started praying. I think it was the second round. After the first 2 rounds, man come out doing the side of the cross. Like he knew that. Please, Lord, just let me get through this fight. Let me secure the win. And I think as the later rounds went on, he realized, all right, Chisora's fatigued enough for me to start throwing back without getting hit.
But I think for me, when I was watching the fight, I expected Usyk to win quite comfortably, a lot more comfortably than he actually won. So the whole time I was watching, I was thinking, how is he going to do with the other heavyweights? If you don't want to take risks to knock out Chisora, and you're going in there with Anthony Joshua, who the reason they chose Chisora, A, he's got the weight, B, he's shorter than Usyk,
and the fan base as well.
Of course, what I'm saying, in terms of, I don't think Usyk cares about all that. I think in terms of
but in terms of marketability and stuff.
Okay, that's why Eddie Hearn chose it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Usyk. I don't think them guys there, they don't care about the money.
Okay.
They just care. It's like Loma, he's telling Bob Arum, Lopez wants to fight, give him some of my purse. Them man are built different, innit? That stuff don't mean nothing to them, innit?
It's best of the best. They don't care about the money,
So for Chisora, you got a heavyweight, he's got the weight, but he doesn't have the height, doesn't have the reach. Of course, he's got power, but he's, like you said, he's not a Joshua, he's not a Wilder. He hasn't got that knockout power, innit? And he hasn't got the skills. So it's like, let's just get Phil for the weight. But in terms of skills, in terms of someone who's winging punches like that and you can't punch with him. If you can't punch with Chisora, you're not punching with Joshua.
No, 100%.
You're not even punching with Povetkin.
Yeah,
so that's you know what I mean, innit? Like if you can't punch with these guys, you're not gonna win. So that's what I'm saying. For going forward to fight the other guys, if you're not taking them risks with Chisora, I just don't see how he beats any of the other guys.
Again, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. I think for me, how you counteract a puncher is through the boxing. So I think for like, let's just say for example, I can't see him in a million years beating AJ, but what you got to look at is, okay, for me, AJ would have to be how he come onto the scene, that slim, slender, build, and he can throw combos, boxing the back foot. If he come in, let's just say like the 18 stone or the highest weight that he'd been at, he's going to struggle because obviously that lactic acid is going to kick in. Usyk's just going to basically do what he done with Chisora. So although he's not a puncher, how he's going to move in the heavyweight division is literally just boxing and moving and smart boxing. But again, like I agree with you. I can't see him competing with the highest athletes. I mean, even Deontay Wilder. I think lands a wild right hand. Literally, he's going to find that at some point. And obviously, Usyk's smart enough to keep his hands there. But
it's a southpaw killer, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like him against those guys can be like Loma versus Lopez. You can just see this guy. He's too small, don't hit hard enough. And he's going to try to come on the inside and be like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like you can see with Chisora, every time he goes on the inside,
he's complaining low blows.
He's not a man in the ring. Like if someone's hitting you with low blows, I remember
hit it back.
Yeah, it's like I can't remember what Leo Santa Cruz done to Tank, but he done something that Tank didn't like. And Tank just dashed him. Just dashed him on the floor. That don't happen around here. Someone's.
But that's the niceness. You can see like even I saw Chisora. He kept there's one point he finally got to Usyk. Usyk's head was down. Got him in a little headlock and was squeezing. And you can see when he come back up, he was like deep breath. And he's thinking, all right, cool. But again, like that nastiness didn't come out. Ages ago, you've seen him slap up Klitschko or start calling him out. Like I think at a top level for heavyweights, you got to have that nastiness. And I think Usyk's a bit too nice. I do think he's too nice.
Especially, I just think him and Joshua, as soon as he has to get on the inside to Joshua.
Yeah, I can't see him that happening.
No, because I think
he has to box in the back foot because for me, and even that, that's dangerous. Because Joshua's got the reach. So it's just like, I can't see it. And then Joshua's going to be whipping them right uppercuts. Literally, so.
Especially if you're, say he's jabbing Joshua. I think if I'm Joshua, every time he's jabbing me, Just put my jab to the body.
Yeah.
And my jab's longer as well, innit? Like put a right hand there. It's like it's too many ways to get to him at being so small, innit? That's the only thing. It's mad. Like 2-3 years ago, remember before the tournament?
Yeah.
I was telling all my fan base, Usyk's the guy. He's gonna clean the tournament. He's gonna go up. He's gonna beat Joshua. He's gonna beat this guy. Gotta go back on my word now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've never said that it would be Joshua, but I said that it will cause problems in the heavyweight division. Like again, you got still up and coming fighters. Like you got the Joyce. You've seen him fight in the WSB before.
Yeah.
So for me, that was like me watching that fight. I thought, okay, that shows me that Usyk can compete against bigger guys like that. But again, each heavyweight at the top level, they've all got the individual attributes. I think Joyce, he's a bit there to get hit. So with Usyk can hit a move like that. I mean, it might change now because obviously the professionals, they're changing the style in that. But even against Dubois, I think Dubois sleeps Usyk.
Yeah, honestly, I was about to ask you next.
I think Dubois sleeps Usyk.
Yeah. Winner of Dubois versus Joyce, they can have a higher ranking in the WBO.
Yeah.
So they could possibly fight for the mandatory because Joshua Fury next year, hopefully. So you think Dubois sleeps him?
I think, Usyk, 100%. I think with the Joyce Dubois, okay, I'm on the fence in it because obviously I've not seen enough of both of them. I've seen Dubois training a few times, and I mean the guy can punch, and his jabs always lands. His jabs are always landing. I think
predictable though.
Yeah, it's predictable. But I think Joyce can be predictable. I think for me, Joyce's head movement isn't enough. And I think when you got them 8-ounce, 10-ounce gloves, well, I ain't here to disrespect no one, but like for me, if you just look at it, I can't remember who Joyce's last fight was against, but behind closed doors, the guy stuck it on him and he was landing. Like the guy was hitting him a lot. And when you take a heavier hitter like Dubois, how are you going to take the same shots against someone who can punch and bang like that? So for me, Joyce has got the experience, obviously. I'm 50-50, but I'm more leaning towards Dubois just because of the punch power, and I don't think Joyce is evasive enough.
That's the thing. For me with this fight is what Joyce turns up, because we know we're going to get with Dubois.
Yeah.
With Joyce, like you said, he gets hit too much. But sometimes maybe he believes in his chin too much, or he doesn't respect his opponent.
Yeah.
I think if he respects Dubois and knows, all right, I can't get hit here, and he decides, let me move my head, let me even just tuck up, whatever he does to make sure he avoids some punches, and then I think he would win. But if he goes in there and thinks, you know what, let's scrap, I'll take your right hand, are you going to take mine? Then I think it would be dangerous for him. But at the same time, I always told people, I'm actually a big Joyce fan, you know that, innit?
I know you are.
But I always tell people, he might not be that good to the eye and his punches are slow, but he's going to beat someone that he shouldn't beat. Of course. If he keeps fighting, if he fights all the top guys, he's going to beat 2 or 3 of them.
No, 100%.
And I think Dubois 100%. Being so young, that might be the first one that he gets still.
Yeah, and again, I think it will be out of experience. But again, I think much like what you said just a minute ago, it is down to what Joyce turns up on the day. Because from the round 1, as soon as that bell goes, you can't be switched off.
You can't switch off for a second.
Because Dubois is a killer. He's going in there. He's looking to land that right hand. Much like the Wilder, he's just trying to get you out of there. And you can't go into that killer, that cage of an environment. And for the first, you need a round or 2 to warm up, because that's where you get punished. But yeah, no, again, it's 50-50 for me, but yeah, I probably favour Dubois on that one.
I remember I was talking to Craig Richards, and he was saying he was watching Dubois spar, and not Dubois, Joyce.
Yeah.
He was looking at him thinking, he's not doing much, innit? Then the opponent comes back to the corner and he's like, he had a bruised eye, his nose was bleeding, his lip had a bust lip. It's like he's got that weird kind of power where it's like he's got that stiff power. Yeah. No speed, no nothing. Just as soon as it hits, you're just like,
yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how Dubois, because when he fought the African guy, I think his name's Latte.
Yeah.
And he got caught a couple of times. You can see him do that little Joshua funny stiff. Yeah. That big stiff man, innit? You see that funny leg dance.
Yeah.
When he does that against Joyce, to see how he's gonna react and if he can recover and keep going.
That Latte can take a shot.
Take a big punch, innit?
Yeah.
So you're saying Dubois over Usyk,
yeah? I think Dubois.
I think it's a bad. When you're that predictable and Usyk can see everything coming, I don't know how you're gonna land on him.
No, okay. So with me, how I see it,
the jab.
I don't think you've had a chance to see the best of Dubois. I don't think so. I think all the people that he's fought so far, he knew he can get out of there. I mean, when you know that your level's above someone, you don't need to give everything away. And I think going forward, it's going to take a certain fight to bring out the best of him. Because obviously, I mean, Dubois has been on the England team for God knows how many years. So he's obviously got that boxing brain. He's not just a powerhouse. He's just going to sleep, man. So for me, going forward, I think you'll start to see more of a Dubois.
It's like Tom Little and Gorman. Everyone's saying, "Oh, these guys are the master boxers. They're gonna do this and that." They just the way Dubois out jabbed them.
Yeah,
it was just like you think you can box, like bang bang every time. It's just that jab, that's killer, innit? I don't know. That's
his best punch.
Yeah, for real. Forget the right hand. Yeah, the jab,
forget the right hand.
I think that's the most underrated thing, and I don't know if Joyce can deal with that though.
And you know what? If you go back and watch his fights, it's that jab. That's what gets his opponent's attention, innit? Because they're like, oh my God, I ain't even seen the right hand. It's like the first punch is like, oh shit. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true still. Because you can see every time he hits some of it. And from the outside, it looks predictable. But I always say, if you think it looks okay, but the guy in the ring with him can see it as well, and he's not getting away from it, there must be a reason why, innit?
Yeah.
He don't even look like he feints too much or does anything, but he's stepping behind it, he's pushing through. He catches you when your feet are in the air, especially, innit? So when you're moving, and then the jab comes, there's not much you can do about it, innit? So I think
it's the reach as well. Like he's got arms. He proper fully extends. So it's very hard to get out of range, especially someone that's that powerful as well and carrying up much of weight. But yeah, I think obviously he's got a few more fights to get through. But I think definitely at that world level, I think he would beat Usyk.
Yeah.
Just through size, Just through size.
Let's talk about Chisora now. That's his 10th loss.
10th loss, yeah.
Couple robberies.
Yeah, a couple robberies.
Yeah, but that's his 10th loss. Well, what's the next for him? I think Delboy never dies.
Listen, you know what it is, yeah? For me, losses don't matter. As long as you're giving the fans what they want, and that's a fight. At the end of the day, we're in a fight game. Chisora, he is entertaining. So, win, lose, or draw, he's giving it his all every single fight. So, if he comes up short, it doesn't mean anything. I would still happily see Chisora in there with anyone, because at the end of the day, he's always going to cause an upset at some stage or another. I think with the Dillian Whyte fight, I mean, you got to give Dillian Whyte credit. He got him out of there. But for me, he was winning the fight. I think the first fight could have easily been a draw.
I thought Chisora won.
Well, I actually personally thought he won. But I would give it a draw. Dillian Whyte got the decision, fair enough. So you got to look at Delboy. I mean, he's fighting against world-class opposition, and he's only just coming up short. I think on the weekend, they were talking about how this is the best shape he's ever been in. I think the only thing that I was a bit upset with, or not upset with, because he done fantastic, is that I felt after the second round, I felt like he expended too much energy to the point where he wasn't cutting the ring off and trapping Usyk the way he was the first 2 rounds. And then that's when I thought Usyk started to find his rhythm and started to just pop and move. But I would have just liked to have seen that. But obviously the legs, I mean, that weight class, I've never been in that heavy. So obviously he's a superb athlete to be doing that for 12 rounds. Because I know a couple of people, welterweights, come 6th round, they're gone.
Yeah, 100%.
So for my man to be doing it for 12 rounds, like you got to give him nothing but respect. But I would have just liked to seen him close the ring off a bit more, and then I think Usyk started to predict that right hand was coming over, and obviously if Delboy hits you with that, you're gone.
Yeah,
you're gone. So I would have liked to seen him just whip them left hooks to the body, the right hooks to the body, instead of whipping the right hook over the top. I would have liked to seen it come as a right hook to the body, because Usyk, he's got the lateral movement, but the body is still there. So I would have liked to see that just to slow him down. But at the end of the day, again, like I'm talking from the outside looking in.
It's like what you said. It's like what annoyed me was cool. You've seen early, you've got the advantage on him. Yeah, you don't have to be 100 miles per hour for 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you got to take a step back.
Take a step back, walk him down, and if every time Usyk throws, jump on him.
Yeah.
Every time he throws, jump on him. But then after that, you relax because you cannot do that pace for 36 minutes.
No way.
I think if they would have calmed down, had a little bit of a better game plan rather than just let's just punch man up for 36 minutes, innit?
I tell you what, I was screaming at my screen though when I see Delboy turn southpaw and start popping Usyk's head. I was just like, what? he's got that in his lock. Yeah, okay, cool.
Never seen before.
Never. But then I also thought it was gonna go into like a Marvin Hagler. When I started seeing him come walking man down, and then doing like the cross guard, I thought, okay, that's what I want to see because Southpaw orthodox, you'll cut the ring down a lot quicker, especially if you're not having to reset. Yeah. So again, like full respect to Del Boy, he come up short. I don't think he won the fight. I think the decision at the end where he said that he had won, I thought, and he was calling out Eddie Hearn, saying, "Where Eddie Hearn's hiding from me." I find that funny, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's got a big career ahead of him still for however long he wants to decide to box, because against any world heavyweight, I think even him and Andy Ruiz would be a good fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'd watch that. Yeah,
he's 36 on his British passport. I'm not sure what the Zimbabwe passport saying.
Yeah. I don't know,
but him and Andy Ruiz,
I'd like to see that fight. Yeah,
get bodied, man.
Well, so the thing is, what Andy Ruiz turns up,
I don't think him sweet and short punches against them big looping right hands. It's just technique for me. You know that big winging right hand. Come on, bro. Just a little. He throws that big winging right hand. Ruiz with a little short hook and it's over. I love Chisora, man.
The thing is,
someone with his style, that's better.
You know what? I think is I'm a massive Chisora fan. You know, I was at the when he slept Hakam, and
same. I didn't see you there. I didn't know you.
I didn't know you then. But yeah, no. To me, I almost lost my voice that night. But for me, that fight is an up close and personal fight. And if you look at the Dillian Whyte fight, that suits Del Boy because he's up close and personal. Yeah. So I think Usyk made it a lot easier of a night because he kept it at distance. Up close and personal, I can't see Ruiz dominating Chisora like that. Especially, fair enough, to probably run about the same weight. Maybe like 20 pounds difference here or there. But I would like to see how Ruiz takes that punch from Chisora. Because I think at some point that right hand over the top and uppercut, something's going to come in and it's going to connect. So, I'd like to watch it. At the end of the day, it's going to be, whether he wins or loses, it's going to be an action-packed fight. And then that's what we want fans fights going forward.
Right, literally, you talk about any top heavyweight and you say, throw Chisora in with them, it's a good fight.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Yeah. On to the last fight of the weekend. Now you're Inoue. He stops Jason Moloney in the 7th round. I remember Moloney going into the fight. I remember I was watching the broadcast and they talk about, there's this, there's that. He's not the monster. He's this and whatever, yeah? It's like, obviously, he's got the power and whatnot. We use our boxing ability to get around him. First round, you can see it in that man's face. I was like, oh, shit, this brother's got a jab. You eat 3 jabs and you're thinking, I thought I got away from that one. And you're thinking, nah, it's like the way, that's like, even before the broadcast, like, this is what I always said about Inoue. My favorite thing about him is, your fighters like Deontay Wilder says, I've got a right hand. You got to be perfect for 36 minutes. I got to be perfect for 1 second.
Yeah.
Inoue says, the power's okay, but I'm a boxer. I want to show you guys my skills. I want to show you my jab. I want to show you my footwork. I want to show you how I get away from punches. So when you've got a guy, well, I say, he's got a better jab than you. He's faster than you. He's slicker than you. And when he hits you, you're gonna wake up the next day. Yeah. You can't beat that. He's the most complete boxer I've ever seen. Yeah.
I think for you to fully appreciate Inoue, you have to go back and watch his fights in slow motion. I missed his fight on the weekend, but I've watched a lot of his fights recently, and the way he targets the body with the straight rights and straight lefts, he's constantly up, down, changes his rhythm.
Mixes it up so well.
Yeah. He's a perfect boxer in the sense that he hasn't got one set rhythm. He's changing head and body all the time, always throwing combinations, moving off after he's thrown it. He's not really there to get hit.
There's no punch he doesn't throw either.
Yeah. And he's just not predictable. And I think he's going to dominate for a long time.
The only thing with him, you can tell he likes the fight. I think after like the 3rd or 4th round, when I was watching it, I think the Tank fight started when he was in like round 5 or 6. I stopped watching. But after like 3 or 4 rounds, he done the Joe Gallagher thing as well. He just said, you know what? You ain't got nothing for me, big man. Yeah. Tucked up, just walked man down and just kept peppering him.
He went by knockout.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me. So the thing is, that's what happens when you know that, you know what, the guy that's in the opposite corner, if they've got nothing that is a threat to you, whether it's speed, power, their intellect's not there to capitalize on what you're doing, you don't have to do your natural what comes to you, like boxing wise. You can literally just walk a man down, just knowing you're gonna get them out. You risk taking a few shots in the meantime, but if you're that confident, he's going. Why waste the time? Just close the show.
It's the mental pressure as well. When a man's literally walking you down, you hit him. It's like, let's keep going. Keep going.
I'll tell you what, it's the most soul destroying thing. Imagine, so he wouldn't have stand a chance with Inoue boxing long range, then inside, and then Inoue just said, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna walk you down. Listen, the mental pressure, especially like right now, everyone's in lockdown. my man didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. He was just lost. He was like, I'm just trapped at all sides. Literally, no, but yeah. I mean, and I think that goes to show like the mental strength you have to have in boxing, because you got to have an answer and ability to adapt to any situation, and the opponent clearly didn't have that. But again, anyway, for me, he's in my top pound for pound.
Yeah, number 2 for me behind Canelo. Can't lie.
Behind Canelo?
Yeah.
We're gonna dispute on that one, but it's
okay.
Okay.
What's wrong with Canelo?
To me, listen, Canelo, I'd probably put him second. I think for me, Terence Crawford's number 1.
Who's he fought in the last 3 years? Man? I'm a big chance. He used to be my number 1, but when Canelo's going up to fight Kovalev and you're fighting a guy whose name I can't pronounce or ever remember, it does count sometimes.
Okay, fair enough. But I think there's politics in boxing in the sense that Crawford's probably not getting the fights that he should be getting.
I'll be real with you. Yeah. His contract with Top Rank ended like last year or the year before that, and he chose to re-sign them knowing all the other welterweights on the other side.
But the thing is, you don't know what's entailed in that. There could be promises that he will be getting the top welterweights, and I think obviously
would Amir Khan and Kell Brook.
Wait, what?
Amir Khan and Kell Brook. That's been his biggest fight since he signed his contract.
Yeah, but he's still slowly ticking off the names. I mean, the Errol Spence fight right now, that is like a Mayweather Pacquiao. It's just brewing. Like, I don't expect to see that next year or even maybe possibly the year after, 2022. For me, I don't mind waiting for that fight because they're both still fair enough young. I'd like to see them both get the Danny Garcia out the way, the Kell Brook.
I swear they're in the 30s. They're both in the 30s. They must be.
Yeah, they're still young enough. But
I hear you, but honestly, I'm just fight.
I hear that. But they're on a collision course. I mean, it's one of the things, it can't be avoided. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. And I think the only thing that Kell Brook can do, Terence Crawford could do in the meantime is just fight the opponents that what's his name's for Errol Spence. So if he goes in there and dominates Kell Brook like what Errol Spence done, again, it's who done it better. You could argue, okay, Errol Spence put more miles on the clock of Kell Brook. That's why it was easier for Terence Crawford, providing that he wins. But again, it just builds up for a bigger fight. And again, you can't rush boxing. It's the career's on a collision course. It's gonna happen. The same with like what's another fight that's out there at the minute? That's everyone just keep talking about.
Joshua Fury, isn't it?
Joshua Fury. Even just domestically, you got Buatsi Yard. Like everyone keeps talking about these fights, but they're on a collision course in the same weight category. Everyone's got the ambitions to be world champion. They're gonna meet. There's no point rushing it.
That's what I said about Kell Brook and Amir Khan, didn't it, man?
Listen,
there's too many fights in boxing that fall by the way.
I hear about Kell Brook and what's his name, Amir Khan. I'm done with them, man. For the last 30 years, they've been calling each other out. Now, for me, that wasn't serious, and I think between the two of them, there's one side. I know which side I think it is that doesn't want it.
No, Amir Khan don't want the fight. Yeah,
well, yeah, I don't think he wants it. And I think just more so out of the fact that he's no longer at his best, and I think it'll just eat at him the rest of his life if he lost to Kell Brook.
I think so.
That's why I can't see that happening.
For me, Amir Khan probably genuinely believes I can beat Kell Brook. He just don't want to give Kell Brook that opportunity. They want to give him the payday. He just thinks, I don't like this. I don't want him and me associated.
No, I hear that, and I've heard some stuff. Well, again, it's all his rumors about 60-40 splits and stuff like that. At the end of the day, if you don't like someone enough, it's no longer about the money. Just go in there and punish them, and then that's to be settled, in it. But some people, they got too much power now. I need to have this. I need to have that. Just make the fight. I mean, the fans, me as a fan, I no longer care about that fight. And I don't even, literally, if I go the rest of my life and I don't see them two fight, it's cool.
But as soon as it's announced, I'm selling out Wembley. And
yeah, don't worry, I will be there. I will be there. But again, it's...
You don't want to put any more energy into it.
Yeah. It's, for me, it's just like... it's been too like some fights they need to brew. That's been brewing to the point where
it's too far.
Yeah. You built them up, cooled them down. Shut up. Just did the thing now.
Let's go on to the last topic. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna read you guys a quote by Deontay Wilder. Yeah. My water was spiked, as if I took a muscle relaxer or something like that. My water was tampered with. This is the water in his change room that his trainers bring for him. Yeah. It was like I had no control over my body. My legs were weak. I think talk about Mark Breland, has something to do with my water as well too. If I was Mark Breland, I'm going to court and suing someone for saying that I spiked his water.
Slander. Yeah, is she? That's defamation of character, literally.
Yeah. This motherfucker didn't even give me a warning. If you part of the plot, that ain't gonna matter. It's all about when he stopped the fight.
Yeah.
He had to fulfill obligation. In round 7, I'm getting myself back together. I don't know what he's watched back, but he said he's getting himself back together, and all of a sudden the towel is thrown in. And I watched the interview. Was saying with 7/8 Sports TV. Was saying, a good trainer will tell you, listen, you have to show me more. I'm throwing the towel the next round.
Yeah.
I don't think Wilder realizes the ref was gonna stop it 10 seconds later anyway, because he was wobbling. He was on.
Yeah.
The ref was gonna stop it regardless.
The thing is, I think there's a couple people in boxing that are delusional, and I think there is, but like. For me, Wilder, he didn't know what was going on. Literally, he just didn't know what was going on. And he was just finding excuses here, there, and everywhere. And I think, for me, that's the saddest part. Not saying that he broke his back, it was a spinal injury, or his toe went. Literally, you've turned to a man who's been in your corner for however long of a training camp, or however long in your career, and then now you're accusing him of spiking your drink. I think that is just sad, because I think the relationship between a trainer and a fighter, depending on the age gap, you could be like brothers. It could be like a second father figure. It could be like an uncle. So it's just like, for me, for you to turn around and accuse your trainer of something like that. I mean, again, I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know if there's been evidence to suggest that. But for me, I just think I lost respect for Wilder in that sense. In terms of all this thing with the gloves and stuff, and the accusations of the cheating, if there is any truth in that, let that come out in court or whatever. Like, just there's no point making excuses, because whatever happens in the dark comes to the light at the end of the day. But I think for you to drag your trainer into something else, I mean, if you lot are parted and you say, you know what, you've not, we discussed this prior. I didn't want you to do that. If I get knocked out, I get knocked out. But then, again, if that's a second father figure to you, that's your life. He sees you as a son. Why is he going to want you to die?
He thinks your life? That Breland was listening to fighters outside the ring, telling him to stop it. Like Andre the Rose outside the ring, apparently saying something to Mark Breland. Really? And he thinks it was all a part of a plot.
Okay, even that, again, I'm happy the fight ended the way it did, because he already had the lump in his head. You don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was a fractured skull or what, but at the end of the day, it only takes one more punch for a bit of your skull to hit your brain, and then all of a sudden you're paralyzed for life. You're in a vegetable state. Just live to fight another day. I mean, he's already got the rematch clause with Fury. I mean, I don't know what's happened with that now, because supposedly it's expired. But I just think it's all really messy, and I think it just didn't need to go down that route. So, and obviously, I think you got Bob Arum's commented on it as well, saying he's comparing Deontay Wilder to Donald Trump with his fake accusations. News, with fake news and stuff. But again, for me,
I think the saddest thing for Wilder is Mark Breland was the only boxing man in his whole camp. Like, he has boxing pedigree through and through, Olympic gold medalist, been through it, trained other people. Everyone else in his camp is fake. They pump stupid things into that guy's head. Yeah. It's like, they've got him convinced that Tyson Fury is breaking his contract. Now, I know Wilder's not the smartest tool in the box, but everyone knows, you break your contract with me, cool, we're going court. I've got you signing a signature for millions and millions of pounds saying you're going to do something. And if you don't do it, we're going to court. Yeah. For your manager to tell you we've got a contractual obligation, Fury has to fight, and for you not to even think, let's take him to court then. Because Fury and Bob Arum and Frank Warren, they're not stupid.
No, 100%. So you're telling me you want less than a month to prepare for something, since Like it's just ridiculous. Like what have you learned that's been different from the first 2 fights? It's gonna.
That's the thing. Him and his team and his people are telling them you don't need to change anything. All that's gonna happen is
it's crazy.
We're gonna get you some tap water. No more bottled water. Nothing spiked. We'll get you some tap water. We'll check through his gloves, and then you're gonna go in there and land the right hand. That's what he genuinely thinks is gonna happen.
No, it's crazy. I mean, for me, I would like to have seen. I mean, fair enough. He's parted with his trainer, but there's a lot that Wilder needs to adapt.
I'll tell you the worst thing about it. He could probably have that mindset and go in there and land a lucky right hand.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. Like everyone's saying, "Oh, Wilder's done if he loses his next fight." No, like Wilder will still take out pretty much every other heavyweight.
Most men in the world.
To be honest with you, out of AJ Fury, I'm more worried for Wilder than I am for Fury.
100%.
And I'm a massive, like, everyone knows I started boxing because of AJ. So it's literally like, I don't want Wilder to win. But that is, for me, a scarier fight than the Fury fight. Because Wilder can land that right hand. But yeah, for me, his whole thing is messy. He's got too much to learn in the meantime. And to me, if he fights on maybe 2022, end of 2021, that still may not be enough time, because obviously he's at an age now where you're set in your ways. And that's the thing. When you got people with that punch power and you know you can just get anyone out there, like, you lax on other things. And unfortunately, he's laxed on that just basic boxing ability. And the main thing is how you're a world champion, I don't know, 45, 49 fights, however many fights he's had, and you can't put a guard up to see a punch coming and ride the shots. Yeah. You're defending with your arms out, flapping. I'm just confused. I'm just like, no, it's literally like, even he was an Olympic boxer. You're telling me you can't have a tight guard, take it on the chin, or not take it on the chin, but take it on the glove, ride the shots, slip. He's got none of that. His defense is take a back step with both hands fully extended. That's crazy to me. So literally, I think he just needs to spend the next year or so, or next year, or however long he's got to his next fight, and just practice the basics, because it doesn't make sense how you can be a professional for how many 10 years plus whatever and still not have the fundamentals. And that just happens to come from you've got away with it because of the punch power. Because if he was going 12 rounds the whole time, there might have been a couple of close decisions there. You don't know. I mean, he was losing the Ortiz fight twice.
He's losing a few of them. So
yeah, so it's just like his record can be completely different if he didn't have that one punch equalizer. So he needs to just go away and learn and then start again.
Oh, hey man, Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder has to be next. There's literally no reason for that fight not to happen next.
Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder.
Why not?
Yeah, no. It's a great fight. It's a great fight, and you know what? I think we're in that situation that, depending on who's fighting who, everyone could sort of beat each other. That's the thing, which is it's a good environment to be in, because much like the UFC, it doesn't matter who you're fighting. It's literally, as long as it's the best fighting the best, everyone's happy to still see you fight, as long as it's a competitive fight. And I think that's the one thing as lockdown has come out as good. You've seen a lot of 50-50 fights, and going forward, hopefully, promoters and TV networks will realize that, oh, okay, this Mayweather era of protecting the O is gone. Literally, we're back to the old school boxing, 50-50 fights. Just because you lose, it doesn't mean that's the end of your career. You live and you learn, and that loss is what tends to catapult people towards greatness. I mean, you got Bernard Hopkins losing his first fight, or
first fight.
Yeah. I mean, Lomachenko, I think, lost second fight. Like, again, like, you can still go on to be great, but you've got to take the opportunity. You got to take the risk, because that's what boxing is. Every fight you go in, there's a risk to catapult your career. So I think all this whole cherry picking and selecting, there's this poor mentality.
You got to understand why you lost as well.
Yeah, you got to understand why you lost, and I think everyone thinks, okay, if I've spent this long building my career, I need to just keep doing it because our promoter will drop me. No, literally, you've got to have that old school mentality of, no, I'm fighting everyone. And I've got to be ready to fight at any given notice. Like, it can't be, I'm going to fight maybe twice a year, that's it. No, literally, like, boxing is a short career. Make the most of it, fight regularly, and then look back on your career when you're done, and then take your break.